Hello and welcome to UK Gaming Network and our look at the best games released during May 2018. As more and more big game reveals were leaked ahead of E3, you'd be forgiven for not noticing the many new releases that arrived in what turned out to be the busiest month of the year so far. We've seen the arrival of games that we've known about for a long time, as well as some genuine surprises. Not everything was worth the wait, but it's been a particularly good month for anyone who played games in the early 90s. It's also been another great month for Switch owners, unless they were already Wii U owners, with both Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze and Hyrule Warriors being given another deserved lease of life by Nintendo. As ever, we're here to talk about brand new releases, so what follows are the games that we played the most over the last 31 days, and our pick for Game of the Month. Let us know your choices in the comments below. Paladin's Champions of the Realm is not Overwatch, although developer Hi-Res Studios clearly want it to be. What stops us from dismissing it outright though, are a fantastic cast of characters and the easy to use customization options that are available. Oh, and the fact that it's free. Whether you're a newcomer or a veteran, you'll be able to find someone that suits your style of play, and each character can offer something unique to your 5-man team. Although there are over 30 characters available, should you stick with the free download, there's only a handful available to begin with, and the rest are unlocked either with points earned from matches or with real world money. It's also nice that others are available for a limited time on rotation. It's also worth noting that there's no pay to win here either, with purely cosmetic items available from the store. Paladins is an example of free to play done right, even if we'd still rather be playing Overwatch. Better clear some space in your calendar as Obsidian are back with another 40 hours plus RPG that's likely to make you forget about meal times and your social appointments. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire has been developed by a team with an obvious love of the genre. The success of the Kickstarter funded original has allowed the writers to delve deeper into the world and expand the lore. We haven't played a game this well written in a long time, and it's a good job too as there's a lot of reading involved. The introduction of sailing and piracy fits into the world perfectly, and naval battles offer up a thrilling challenge. While knowledge of the first game isn't entirely necessary, we found that having not played the original kept breaking the flow of the story here. This isn't really a bad thing though, as it means you've got 2 epic RPGs to play now instead of just 1. It's somewhat ironic that Raging Justice has been released in the same month that Streets of Rage, the game that is its biggest inspiration, was given away free on Xbox Live. Like that Sega classic, it's a side-scrolling arcade brawler, where you play one of 2 badly named cops, or a street kid that's tagged along with them for some reason, and deal out justice with your fists. There's a neat good cop bad cop mechanic that rewards you with appropriate collectibles based on your style of play, and some of the side quests are genuinely challenging. It does get repetitive, but that's the nature of this kind of game, and it's a lot of fun in local 2-player. This game first caught our eye when we played it at Play Expo almost 3 years ago, and we're pleased to say that the wait for the final release has been more than worth it. The list of great futuristic sports games begins and ends with the Speedball series, but Laser League is so brilliantly simple it's almost worth mentioning in the same breath. 2 teams of 3 battle it out to take out the other by switching laser barriers to their team's colour. Teamwork is key to ensure that you remain on top, and matches can last for ages as control of the court changes hands, or it can all be over in seconds depending on your skill. This is clearly a game that's been designed to be played with friends, as it's sorely lacking as a single player experience, which is a pity. Even Rocket League had the option of a full single player season, which helped you to learn the game. Unless you can persuade some friends to pick it up as well, it's a very hard game to fully recommend, but this is where the decision to include it on Xbox Game Pass should hopefully work in its favour. It speaks volumes about the lack of big exclusives on Xbox that Microsoft have been pushing State of Decay 2 at it like it's a AAA blockbuster, when in reality it's the same mid-priced indie as its predecessor. Just like that game, your objective is to survive a zombie apocalypse by building a community, maintaining your safe zone, and going out on scavenging trips. It's easy to get drawn in during the first few hours, but it soon becomes apparent that there's a lack of focus to maintain your interest. Drag some friends along and things improve dramatically, but it's still not enough. It's wrong to criticise the sequel for being the same as the original, as all we wanted was more of the same with added online co-op, and that's exactly what Undead Labs have delivered. Performance is also an issue, with glitches and bugs prevalent throughout, although we've yet to encounter anything truly game-breaking. Few studios can boast a catalogue as divisive as Quantic Dream. Their trademark combination of cinematic visuals, split narrative storytelling and quick-time event gameplay is back in Detroit Become Human, although we're happy to report that many of their annoying quirks have been reined in to deliver a far more satisfying and focused game than either Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls. We still could have done without the pointless motion controls though. This tale of androids discovering their humanity follows 3 storylines at once, although 2 are far more interesting than the other. Some of its bigger themes are handled with a too heavy-handed approach, and a little more subtlety would have worked wonders. It's still great though, while it lasts, but even though there are many different ways to play each scene, it's too early to tell whether we actually want to attempt multiple playthroughs. There's definitely been a theme this month of games inspired by classics from the 16-bit era, and Yoku's Island Express continues this by clearly being based on Sonic's Pinball. The combination of pinball and platformer works really well, right down to the frustrating levels of addiction you'd associate with pinball. It's all consistently enjoyable, even as you spend ages trying to line up the ball on the correct flipper, only to miss the final shot, but that's all part of the game's quirky charm. The way the game guides you around the surprisingly large map is pure Metroidvania, and it even manages to throw in some light puzzling when it comes to locating the many secrets and collectibles. Once you've played it for a couple of hours, you'll find the pinball element really starts to work, and you'll be playing by intuition and sense of smell, which is probably just as the developer intended. Fans of arcade racing games have had to feed on scraps for far too long, with you having to go back to the previous console generation to find the last truly decent one. Horizon Chase Turbo is a game that's been designed from the ground up to emulate the likes of Lotus Turbo Challenge on the Amiga, right down to using Barry Leach as the game's composer, and it has achieved an unprecedented level of success in this regard. Tweaking our nostalgia glands would not simply be enough, so thankfully it's all wrapped in super slick presentation and features perfect precision controls. There's a huge wealth of content here, with 109 tracks to master across the World Tour mode alone, taking in 12 different countries, and it can all be played by up to 4 players. Finish that and you'll unlock tournaments and endurance modes too, all for a quarter of the price you would have paid for Forza or Gran Turismo. Quite simply, you should buy it now. I'm Zoidberg, and this was UK Gaming Network's look back at the games of May 2018. Thank you to everyone who provided us with games to play, and thank you to everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then give us a like and subscribe for more just like it. And we'll be back next month to see what games managed to distract us from the World Cup. Bye for now.